Hello, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Oracle Wisdom. For those of you that are joining me for the first time, my name is Natalie Sadie, and we are going to have a look at what the Oracle cards tell us is the energy for the week ahead. And what a week it is. We have the solar eclipse happening on Saturday, the 29th, which is that's obviously up here in the northern hemisphere. So it's happening on the 30th in the southern hemisphere. But let's just get into it. I hope that everyone has had a really wonderful, wonderful week. And let's hope it's a good week ahead. Of course, life is what we make it, but it always helps when the energy is working in our favor. So the first card out is man. A male friend enters your life, a male romantic interest. A man will assist you. A man plays a key role. So before I get into that, let's just pull another card or two and see what this is in reference to. Okay, so this card has been coming out every reading for the last, I would say, month to 6 weeks. Karmic justice, wrongs made right, you will be vindicated, getting what you deserve, learning karmic lessons. So I know personally, okay, there we go. I know personally in my life there are people that, how do I say this, that are making sure that karma is dealt for some people, and I think for others it's certainly sort of coming back to them in terms of behaviors from the past are sort of coming back, and there is this finality to what is going on or what has been going on. So pay attention to all of that. I wonder if the man is somebody new that's coming in, or if it's someone that plays a key role in this karma that is playing out. And obviously, I mean, I've said this before, sometimes when the cards come out, we always think, okay, well, this is a reading for the week, so this must mean it's happening immediately. Sometimes these things, it's the seed, it's the beginning of something, but it's not necessarily the end of the cycle. So with this karmic justice card that just keeps coming out, we have this is clearly something that's been playing out for a little while and is continuing to play out. So if you're sitting there going, well, this hasn't happened, these things do take time. And I mean, karmic justice, I think when we talk about karma, we always go, well, karma will come and get you. And it does. I know I've had some exes that have done some really terrible things. And then you hear on the grapevine later on things that have gone on for them. And you sit back and go, okay, well, that's karma. But there is also good karma that happens. So maybe you've done something really great for somebody, even if they said thank you, but maybe it wasn't recognized, and then things come back. And sometimes it's as simple as recognition for what you've done. So pay attention to all of that. But I feel like the man that's entering into our lives, whether it be friendship, romantic, business, anything like that, it's a positive influence that this man will have on our lives as he steps in. So the next card out is business, work, entrepreneurship, career moves, working on career success, and earning money through work. So this is the other way. Oh, Mercury, you're killing me. So this is the other way that this man could be stepping in. And we've had for the previous months talking about nurturing new opportunities and new growth that's coming up. So if you've been working on something, just know that it is all starting to come together. I know everybody is sort of freaked out by Venus and Mercury retrograde, and this Mercury is just annoying the crap out of me. Everything that could go wrong is going wrong. And it's annoying, but I don't feel that it's really bad. And I mean, this Venus, I've been very open with all of you that the lead up to it was really rough for me. And now that we're sort of in it, it's all good. And so this eclipse, I'm kind of excited by it. And I can't tell you why. I just feel like it's bringing in new things. As I say that, the death card has come out. Inevitable end, big transformations, shedding required, dead end. So the fact that this card came out while I was talking about that, to me, is more about the big transformation. That is what this current astrology is all about. With these retrogrades, we're finishing things. We've got things from the past revisiting us. We're tying up loose ends. And then we have this second eclipse in this eclipse cycle that is about to happen. So the other thing is, I always talk about how much I love the death card. And it's because when things end, it brings new things in. And to me, that's incredibly exciting. And so if you're going through a moment where things are ending and it may feel like your heart is breaking because it's ending, trust that this is the universe pushing things out of the way that are no longer serving you or don't serve you. And it's a way to bring in these new beginnings and these new things. If you're wanting a man, maybe that's what it is. If it's a business deal that doesn't work out or comes to an end, great, because it means there's a better deal that can come around the corner. Round and round, not applying lessons learned, unhealthy patterns on repeat, unable to let go of the past, repeating an old story. So this card, we don't want to be repeating old stories. That's a reality of what's going on. But we often do repeat these patterns and these cycles until we learn the lesson. So if you recognize there is a pattern that you are reliving in your life, this is where it's time to take a moment and go, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this to myself? Why is it playing out this way? And that's how, once you learn the lesson, then you get out of this cycle. So if you realize that there is this pattern, and I mean, for me, a very transformative moment was I was sitting poolside having a conversation with somebody at a hotel. I was about to leave, and we were having this inappropriately deep conversation, but we were having it because we were never going to see each other again. So we could tell each other whatever, and none of it mattered. And I asked him what his pattern was in relationships, and he had told me, I don't even remember what the answer is. And then he said to me, what's your pattern? And I said, I don't have a pattern. And he goes, everyone's got a pattern. And I'm thinking, I don't date people that look the same. You know how some people, you line up their exes and they all look exactly the same, just like same shell essentially. And that was what I was thinking. And then I had the realization at the time that I was dating unavailable men. And I realized that they were unavailable in a whole range of different ways. And having that realization immediately stopped that pattern for me, because when I realized what I was doing, I was able to recognize it when it was coming into my life and go, thank you so much. I don't want to do this, because I can see where this ends. So just know, and I mean, I'm using a romantic example, but this could be the same in business. Are you not finding your voice and speaking up about what you need, whether it be a raise because your value to that company or to that job is far greater than they're giving you recognition for? Is it that you don't have your voice in your relationship and you need to learn to speak up? Are you reliving the patterns of your childhood? Are you repeating the patterns of your parents, or are you playing that role of the child in your future relationships? So it's time to pay attention to this. The eclipse is a perfect time to put an end to all of these patterns that we have. And that's why we've got the death card and the round and round card coming out together. I'm just going to pull one more card from this deck. Dreams. Vivid dreaming, dream messages, reaching for your dreams. Your dreams are calling you. The power of imagination. So the power of imagination to me is the power of manifestation, because anything you dream, you can create. If you set your intentions right, if you live your life in a way that allows for these manifestations to come in. So it depends on the inner dialogue that you have going on in your head, because it's one thing to do a dream board or a vision board and talk about the things that you want to create. And it's another thing, it's never going to work if you're in your head saying, I don't deserve this. And why would this happen for me? Why would that happen? Why would that actually come true? So you need to be very, very aware of the language that you're using when speaking to yourself. Pay attention right now to the dreams, because I don't know about you, but mine are so vivid. I cannot sleep without these dreams just coming in and penetrating my mind and my psyche in such a huge way. And also with the business card, with the man card, reaching for your dreams is, I feel like it's so possible right now, especially if we're shedding the things that don't serve us. So just pay attention to what messages you're getting. And often if we're not picking up the signs that the universe or our guides are sending us in our waking hours, they will come and penetrate our dreams. So this is why it's so important to pay attention to that. This next deck is Work Your Light by Rebecca Campbell. So the first one is Inner Temple, Devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. Yeah, it's time to pay attention to the messages that you are. Okay, this really doesn't want to focus today. It's time to pay attention to the inner calling. And I feel like it's very, very strong at the moment, and maybe you're ignoring it. So it's time to pay attention to that, because that's the only way you're actually going to be able to manifest really what it is that you want. Okay, I can see people in the chat talking about their dreams as well. Warrior Woman, have you answered your deepest calling? So all of these cards that are coming out are literally about you not listening or needing to listen to the call that is coming from within. So to me, that is the strongest message that we're getting from today's reading. I feel like the veil has thinned. I always feel like the veil thins between the worlds when we get to Scorpio season. To me, it always makes my skin tingle, and you can kind of feel that movement. But right now, it kind of feels the same way. I feel like I'm sitting here in anticipation of what's coming with the astrology. Okay, and so I will pull one more from here, but this card is Protection, call back your power, cut the cord, soul retrieval. When the veil is thinned and we're able to access the information so much easier, and we're able to tap into our intuition and all of that, I feel like it does make it easier for these spiritual attacks and people to kind of attach themselves to us. I've talked before, if you're feeling like there is something tethered to you or something holding you back, do a meditation with a cord cutting element to it. I always picture a machete sort of cutting down my body, and I see the people kind of spinning away. And when the spinning stops and there are no more cords attached to me, they are facing the opposite direction to me. And the reason that I have them face the opposite way is so that their focus is on other things outward, not coming into me. And then when you are done with the cord cutting, cover yourself in gold light. Gold is protection. And if you need to, cover your entire house, apartment, whatever it is you're living in gold light. and ask for protection. Now, sometimes people say, well, I did it, but then I needed to do it again. That's totally fine. If you need to do it every day for a week, do it every day for a week. There is absolutely nothing wrong with having to do that. And you'll find that the more frequently you do it, it'll get easier. And also you'll be able to keep some of those attachments away for longer periods of time. Part of that is also just the practice of meditation. The more you do it, the easier and the faster you're able to drop into it and move from, and you can move forward from there. So the final card from this deck is Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? So as we're going through all these shifts and all these deep moves spiritually, because this is about our growth, you need to nurture yourself and take care of yourself. And so often we're busy taking care of everybody else that we forget about ourselves. And if you think about being on an airplane, they always say to you, if the oxygen masks drop down, you need to put your oxygen mask on before you assist anybody else. Because basically, if you're not breathing, you can't help anyone. And the same goes with these transformations and these shifts that are going on right now, especially if you're recognizing patterns that you have going on in your life that you need to stop from happening. What you need to do is, because it can be quite shocking and it can be quite confronting when you realize these unhealthy patterns that you have playing out in your life. So make sure you give yourself grace, give yourself space if you need to digest the information that's come to the fore for you, and just do what you need to do to make sure you're good as you step into the energies of next week. All right, so we're just going to finish up with 2 cards from the Soul's Journey Oracle. So the first card is Blessed Assurance. Confidence conveys competence. So if you're feeling inadequate in all of this, just know that you are fine and you are handling everything as best you can. We all go into things feeling like we're imposters. Imposter syndrome is so real. And do you know, for so many years, I was working full-time as a model, and people would say, what do you do? And I would talk about my side jobs. You know, I work in a bar, I do this, I do that. And one day somebody came to me and said, you are a model. And I went, well, I don't feel like one. And he said, what do you do every day? And I said, well, I work for this client and this client and this client. They're like, you are a model. That is what you do. And the moment I took ownership of what I do and what I was doing, the whole world opened up and work just got busier, and it was almost like I was embraced in a better way. So know that you have to take ownership of who you are and what you're doing. And that's how you get to a point of believing that you deserve it and you're sitting in that space that is exactly where you're meant to be. All right. And it's a newer deck, so they stick together sometimes. Okay, so the final card is Time to Play, Make Space for Merriment. When we're going through all of these things and feeling like we are doing this deep work, and like I said, it can be confronting, and that's why we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. But we also have to remember, sorry, I'm trying to get it so that you can actually see the colors and the pictures in these cards. The lights just aren't helping me today. But you have to remember to find joy in these moments. And so merriment, whatever that is for you. For me, it's always dancing. Put on some music and dance around the house. I'm about to take off and go to a dance class at a new dance studio, because why not? Let's try something new. So make sure you're finding that time to do all of that. And that's part of the self-care and part of the mothering of yourself while you're going through all of this. So I feel like it's a bit of a deep week that we have ahead of us, but I think the amount of growth that we'll have on the other side is so worth the journey that we're going on. And I think that it's incredibly exciting. Pay attention to some man that may walk in any capacity, whether it be work, friendship, romantic. There's somebody of significance that is stepping into our lives. Whatever this karmic justice is, it's going to play out, because that's the law of this world, and how our behavior sort of gets paid back. And this is why it's so important to put out what it is you want to receive back. And my biggest message would, don't be afraid of these eclipses. Like I said, I know it can feel overwhelming. I know that plenty of people are having things stripped away, but the stripping away of all of this, I promise you, is to bring in better things. And I know that when we're going through it, it doesn't feel that way, and we feel like we're broken and we've lost everything. But on the other side, it's all incredible. So if you're able to just temper your emotions through that, if that's something that you're experiencing, I promise you it's going to be sunshine and rainbows on the other side. I hope that you all have a wonderful week. Like I always say with these readings, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I am heading off for my family vacation on Friday, so I will make sure, that's the 28th. I'm going to make sure that I have the monthly reading for April posted before I leave. So it'll probably go live Thursday or Friday. And for those of you that haven't watched it yet, Anne and I did an incredible episode of Gemini Rising with Dylan, the human design maven. And the conversation was so incredible. We talk about the raves that are coming in 2027, how the world's going to change. There's for those of you that don't fully understand human design, I think we really go into a whole lot of that. So go and check that out. I will make sure the link is below, and have the most wonderful week, and enjoy the eclipse, whatever it may bring, because on the other side of this, we're going to be new and improved versions of ourselves. And Anne, thank you so much.